Here's why Rhaenyra sent Daemon away. The Queen's silent betrayal. Picture this. You are married to the most dangerous man in Westeros, a literal war criminal with a dragon and zero impulse control, and then one day you look at him and realize he is not your greatest weapon. He is your biggest liability. Rhaenyra Targaryen sending Daemon away from Dragonstone is not just a strategic move, it is a full-blown marital nuclear option disguised as military tactics. And the reasons behind this decision? They are way messier than anything you have been told. If you want to understand the most complicated power couple in Westerosi history and why their relationship imploded at the worst possible moment, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell, because we are diving deep into trust issues, psychological warfare, and why sometimes loving someone means keeping them as far away from your war council as humanly possible. Let's get into it. The surface-level explanation for why Rhaenyra sends Daemon to Harrenhal seems reasonable enough. She needs someone to secure the Riverlands, to rally support in the strategically crucial heartland of Westeros, and Daemon is the obvious choice for this mission. He is a proven military commander. He has the personality of someone who can intimidate lesser lords into submission. And honestly, getting stuff done through fear and chaos is basically his entire brand. So yeah, sending him to Harrenhal makes tactical sense. Except that is not the whole story. Not even close. The real reason Rhaenyra sends Daemon away has everything to do with blood and cheese. Let us rewind for a second, because this context is absolutely critical. After Lucerys' murder by Aemond, Rhaenyra is drowning in grief and rage, and Daemon, being Daemon, decides the appropriate response is hiring two psychopaths to sneak into the Red Keep and murder a child. Not just any child, but Jaehaerys, the heir to Aegon's throne, a literal innocent 6-year-old boy who gets beheaded in front of his mother and siblings. This is Daemon's idea of proportional response, which tells you everything you need to know about his mental state. Now here's where things get absolutely nuclear between Rhaenyra and Daemon. She never authorized this. Daemon went rogue. He took her grief, her desire for vengeance, and weaponized it in the most horrific way possible without her consent. And when Rhaenyra finds out what happened, she is not grateful. She is not relieved that Aegon's line has been hurt. She is horrified, because killing a child in his own bed is not justice. It is terrorism. It is the kind of act that turns you from a wrong party fighting for your rights into a monster that history will judge harshly. Daemon just made Rhaenyra complicit in child murder without asking her first. The confrontation between them after blood and cheese is where their marriage really fractures. Rhaenyra is trying to maintain some semblance of moral high ground, trying to position herself as the rightful queen who is forced into war rather than someone who craves violence. Daemon just obliterated that narrative. He made her look bloodthirsty. He made her look cruel. And worse, he did it because he thought he knew better than her what she needed. This is not just a strategic disagreement. This is a fundamental rupture in trust. How do you continue working with someone who will commit atrocities in your name without your permission? But wait, it gets even more psychologically complex, because Daemon does not understand why Rhaenyra is angry. From his perspective, he avenged Luke. He made the Greens pay. He showed strength when strength was required. The fact that Rhaenyra is upset about his methods genuinely confuses him, because Daemon operates on a completely different moral framework. He is a weapon pointed at your enemies, and weapons do not ask permission. They just destroy. The problem is that Rhaenyra is beginning to realize that a weapon you cannot control is just as dangerous to you as it is to your enemies. So when Rhaenyra sends Daemon to Harrenhal, she is solving multiple problems simultaneously. First, yes, she genuinely needs someone in the Riverlands, and Daemon is qualified for that job. But second, and way more importantly, she needs him away from her. She needs distance. She needs time to think without his overwhelming presence dominating every decision. She needs her council to stop walking on eggshells, wondering if Daemon is going to kill them for disagreeing with him. Sending Daemon away is not just military strategy. It is marriage counseling through geographical separation. And here is the kicker that makes this whole situation even more tragic. Daemon does not realize he is being benched. He thinks he is being given an important mission. He thinks Rhaenyra trusts him with this crucial task. He rides off to Harrenhal, probably feeling pretty good about himself, completely oblivious to the fact that his wife just found the most politically acceptable way to say, "I cannot look at you right now," without thinking about the fact that you murdered a child without asking me. The man is emotionally intelligent enough to orchestrate complicated revenge plots, but somehow misses that his marriage is disintegrating. What happens at Harrenhal is its own special kind of nightmare, because Daemon essentially has a psychological breakdown in the creepiest castle in Westeros. He starts having visions, hallucinations, entire conversations with people who are not there. And while you could interpret this as the castle being haunted or some magical shenanigans, the more interesting reading is that Daemon is finally being forced to confront his own demons without Rhaenyra there to anchor him. He is alone with his guilt, his ambition, his incredibly messed up relationship with power and violence, and it breaks him. Harrenhal does not just test Daemon militarily, it tests him psychologically, and he barely survives. Meanwhile, back at Dragonstone, Rhaenyra is learning to rule without Daemon's shadow looming over everything. And honestly, she is better at it than anyone expected. Without Daemon dominating the conversation, without his violence-first approach to every problem, Rhaenyra starts making more measured decisions. She listens to her advisors more carefully. She thinks through consequences rather than just reacting emotionally. It turns out that having the most aggressive person in the room gone actually allows for better strategy. Who knew that you could solve problems without immediately threatening to feed someone to a dragon? But here is the uncomfortable truth that Rhaenyra has to face. She still needs. As much as she might want to distance herself from his methods, as much as his actions horrify her, the reality of war in Westeros is that sometimes you need someone willing to do terrible things. Daemon is a monster, but he is her monster, and the Greens have plenty of monsters of their own. The strategic calculation she is making is whether the benefits of having Daemon fighting for her outweigh the risks of what he might do without supervision. Sending Daemon to Harrenhal is Rhaenyra's attempt to have it both ways, to use his capabilities while maintaining distance from his worst impulses. It is a political compromise with her own conscience. It is her trying to stay married to someone she no longer fully trusts. And ultimately, it is proof that even in a world of dragons and prophecies, the hardest battles are the ones we fight with the people we love. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.